being that it is the dead of winter right now, I feel like the things that I'm going through, you're probably going through also, unless you live in the southern hemisphere, which please let me know if you are, because that would be so great to just be in a warmer climate and with just all of this potential for, summery, beautiful activities. But here in North America, it is cold. It is ice cold. I think this morning it was about 12 degrees Fahrenheit. And it was absolutely cold to the bone, where every little part of my older house feels a little bit drafty. I kind of feel like in Emma, the father that's always like, there's a draft. There's a cold and sickly draft. I can relate to that on such a deep level. And I'm just sort of like cuddling underneath heated blankets and lots of slippers, lots of coffee. And I wanted to just break down all of the ways that I am being at my best intentionally right now, through different things like making myself feel at my best, more attractive, more like put together, happier, more healthy. And so we're going to get into all of that today. Before we get into all of that, I want to cordially invite each one of you into the Winter Club. The Winter Club and all of my seasonal clubs are a place where me and a few hundred women get together online and we go through a series of workouts that are paced to music that I lead and are posted every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday between February 3rd and then March 14th. So that is going to be leading up straight into just the very beginning of spring. Right before the beginning of spring, Winter Club will be wrapped up. And I could have launched Winter Club to be like right January 1st when everybody's like super motivated to work out. But by the time that it's this time in January, I feel like me and so many other people just feel like it is time to do something with a community, because so many times you go to the gym and it's like you're motivated or like you're starting to eat right, and then it gets super cold and it's been a few weeks and it's just not happening. And so by having Winter Club start basically toward the end of winter, it's like we all get to get through winter together, and it's something where we can feel so much more confident and capable by the time that spring arrives. So all of my clubs are so much fun, and everybody feels super great after, feels like they have gotten more physically fit, had a huge boost in feeling like they're part of a community, that they're not alone, and we get to celebrate the beauty and find the beauty in seasons, even in winter, where we can see just beautiful, wonderful things about it that we will probably miss by the time it is warmer weather. So I wanted to get into some of that today, but because of Winter Club being open, I wanted to start with my first tip being to work out, because it does warm me up. It's like if I am cold, did I work out that day? Did I get my blood moving? And if I am cold, I can just go and do a workout, and then suddenly I feel amazing. I feel like I'm turning my heat off for a little while, and I get to just feel like I was just baking in the sun. That's basically what it feels like to work out to me, or to be in a sauna. And also, it just encourages my mood. I feel more capable. I feel like I can just tackle anything that I want to for the day, and I also just end up drinking more water. So there's so many benefits to working out this time of year, and it's just a matter of getting the courage to put on workout clothes and get on the mat and actually do a workout. But if you can have like a community, like with the Winter Club, to get yourself to get started in a workout, it's like the most amazing thing. And the people in my clubs who take them at the same time as everybody else end up completing the program just simply because they've been challenged to keep up with a group and be part of a community. So Number one is working out. And now let's get into the rest of the tips. The next way that I always feel so much better about myself is through self-tanner this time of year. It's not just because a tan looks really great, but to me, I always want to have a little bit of a glow underneath my makeup, and it creates a really good base that I then can put on makeup that's maybe a little bit paler or a little bit more close to my skin tone. And there just seems to be a little bit more contouring without it being too strong. So I love to put on self-tanner, obviously, everywhere on my body, but especially this time of year, to have a little bit of a glow is so essential for me. And I feel like even not missing like where my ear is or my neck, like I feel like necks and ears need the most self-tanner out of anything else if you can apply it properly. And then the rest, like you basically wouldn't have to put on self-tanner anywhere else. You might look really odd without clothes on, but basically that's what would be the most essential for looking like put together in winter with self-tanner. But I don't recommend that. I do like to put on self-tanner everywhere, and then I also like to put it on my hands and my feet and my face. But in those regions, I only put it on for like an hour or two, and then I wash it off so that those areas don't get overdeveloped. And I also think it's excellent because it makes you exfoliate first. And so anywhere that it's super dry, you are actively exfoliating and putting on maybe a little bit of Vaseline or something similar to Vaseline to where you can hydrate those areas really well. So for me, I feel like self-tanner is not only a way to feel like I'm glowing up, but it makes my skin so much better because I'm taking care of it in extra ways, like with exfoliation, with hydration. And then also I feel like in general, the way that the self-tanner interacts with my skin, it seems to just make everything softer, which is so nice this time of year. And so there's so many benefits to it. I can leave you some links down below to the products that I use for self-tanner and have used for years. I've tried different ones, and I wasn't even as happy with like getting a spray tan by a professional quite as much as I have loved applying self-tanner to myself with these products. The next thing I do in winter time to absolutely transform how I look and feel is to have some hair oil, because it's so staticky this time of year, so dry. I always feel like my hair is just constantly battling dryness and tangling and split ends. It's just endless for me this time of year. And if I have my hair like all tucked inside a scarf or a hoodie, then by the time the day is done, I am just a tangly mess. It is not good, and it's even worse if it's also staticky. So the way that you can avoid this is through hair oils. And I know that this is super specific depending on what your hair thickness is or texture and all of that. Zach has a totally different hair texture than mine. Like his is super, super curly. And so this is really specific. But I feel like everyone could be using some sort of hair oil or serum to tame flyaways and tame static and to just bring a little bit of nutrition to your hair this time of year. So I've always used the Kerastase hair oil that is like a serum, and it's like their I forget what it's called. It's like, anyways, I'll just link it down below. But you guys, it's like their most common one that they normally sell. Like it's at the top of their website, and I'm totally blanking on the name of it right now, and I just ran out today, so I can't show you the bottle, but it is so nice to be able to have a lovely serum to put on your hair. And my mom, who has like hair, she always says is super thin, and she doesn't even like to use very much conditioner, is just to have a little tiny bit of serum like this one that is so good for just creating a shine and some moisture, even if your hair is like super weighed down by the smallest amount of moisture. It's so nice to be able to just have something to anchor your hair and to create that shine and brilliance. But for me, when it's this close to winter, I need something even stronger. So their night oil, like their hair oil for nighttime repair, is lovely at Kerastase for just having this brilliance when you wake up the next day. I actually used that last night, and it was so nice to be able to wake up today and my hair was more manageable, less tangly. But in general, I like to have a routine in the shower where I'm actually really hydrating. And one way that I do that is through a hair mask. So if I'm using conditioner, I will use like a strong conditioner like Olaplex, but having a hair mask, sometimes I'll just use it as a complete replacement to my conditioner, and I seem to have really good results with that when my hair is this dry right now. And I also like to always use some sort of smoothing cream when I'm about to dry it with a hair dryer. And I know some people like absolutely go heatless with the way that they style their hair. I've never been able to do that with a good hair day as a result. So I use smoothing creams like this one by Inner Sense. I need to also upgrade, buy this again because I'm about to run out and I haven't repurchased it. But this is their Serenity Smoothing Cream. And obviously, Inner Sense is just known for having amazing scents. So is Kerastase. They both have incredible fragrances if you're not opposed to that. But having is just something that really creates a sleekness and just basically taming my hair is so essential this time of year. So so working out and self-tanner and having my hair sleek and moisturized, these go such a long way as to making me feel more put together, more attractive, just not feeling like I'm in a rut. I feel like this time of year when I am just cozy and wearing lots of sweatpants and socks and just like I'm barely looking in a full-length mirror this time of year. And so I never feel like I am aware of myself physically as I am in like summertime when I'm wearing bikinis and I'm putting lots of moisturizer on and I'm like shaving every single half day. Like definitely all of this seems to just be confused in my mind this time of year. And then I like to not catch myself off guard this time of year and actually put in the diligence to taking care of myself in these ways. But I've got some more tips. This next one, I wish someone would have told me this like maybe 15 years ago, but it is so essential to have a body scrub this time of year. Like when I am in summertime, I normally am using the sun as a way to just have more exfoliation and more of like almost like a chemical peel would address my skin. That's what I do with the sun. And so this time of year when I don't have sunshine, then anything that's like my back, my chest, everything just seems to have a horrible time trying to stay healthy and clear. And so I have found, like I've talked to my esthetician about this, and she's like, yeah, I mean, it is true that like it's good to wear SPF, but the sun really does a good job of giving you that peel with your skin of just constantly having cell turnover. But something that I recently discovered through just the virality of stuff online was to be able to have a body scrub that has an acid in it. So the product that I use for it is First Aid Beauty Bump Eraser Body Scrub with 10% AHA. It says it's safe for sensitive skin, and I certainly have sensitive skin, but it's been amazing. Like it's been an incredibly refreshing feeling to go beyond just something like a more or less a face wash or something like soap, and actually use something that has a grit and that AHA in it. And so I have seen such a difference this year in just keeping my skin a lot clearer, a lot more beautiful, just by having that daily scrub that I've been using here. And then I've been following it up with their body lotion. It's the same type of thinking, but it's a smoothing body lotion, 10% AHA. And so that then sits on my skin. And for me, I've just, again, seen such a big difference in having that not only exfoliation, but that turnover of my skin to just breathe, especially when it comes to things like any like cashmere or wool. My skin does not like those materials as much as I like to wear them. I feel like when I'm wearing cashmere, alpaca, wool, I always like to put on some sort of cotton barrier to that. But even sometimes I've been able to wear some sweaters that just feel so cozy to where I don't feel quite as itchy as some people do. Like some people cannot wear those at all. But I think I can just tell in my skin's crying out for help nature that I really do need to pay more attention to things like this. So this has been absolutely amazing. So if you also have any sort of skin troubles this time of year, or any sort of breakouts, then having a product like this just has been so freeing and makes me feel incredible. So I had to mention that. Basically, I like to use any sort of scrub, not only for my body, I like to use it on my hair as well. So I use a scalp scrub. I've mentioned this endlessly, so I'll keep this one kind of brief, but I absolutely love having a scalp scrub. I've used one from Inner Sense and Kerastase, and they are so amazing for just invigorating the scalp and creating movement in your hair. But that's less for winter, and I just use that all year long. But it was kind of the same thinking when it comes to the rest of my body to have a good, proper scrub. Something that I notice is really prominent and more noticeable if you have paler skin is to keep your teeth brighter. It is so important as your skin gets paler that you pay this attention to your teeth. And so whether it is through your toothpaste or if it's something like I use these little trays that have whitening materials in them and I pop them on for like an hour. That's what I personally do, and I'll link you to all these different things down below, but I personally think it's amazing, and I see such a difference if I'm paying this attention to my teeth and my smile while my skin is not perfectly tan. Even with self-tanner, I can just tell, especially if I'm using particular types of lipstick. Lipstick can be hit or miss when it comes to making your teeth look whiter, but essentially if you can just get your teeth to be as naturally, well, not necessarily naturally, but as close to being authentically white as possible, it will make all the difference. So I use one by Smile Brilliant. I've used the Crest White Strips. I feel like that makes my teeth a bit more sensitive than the product that I use, but it really depends on what you're willing to put in your own mouth and like actually test and for how long. It might be something that you just do routinely for a little bit of time instead of having to keep them on for like an hour or more. But just paying that attention to yourself, like while you're working at your desk at home, or maybe you're watching a TV show or something, these times when you don't need to be talking or eating is a really great time to actually pay this attention to your teeth. And it doesn't take very much time or effort aside from that to really do it. I think everybody knows that they need to stay hydrated, but when it's winter time, unless you are actually doing like a workout, it's really hard to remember that you need to stay hydrated because you're not sweating a lot. It's not like you're going out into the outside and like just dying from the heat and all that. So it's really nice to be able to pay this attention to yourself, set a hydration goal every day during this time of the year. And another huge culprit that holds me back on my hydration is that I love coffee, and it is so easy for me to hit my coffee goal every day. Like I'll make a French press, probably 4 cups of coffee are in it, and I go through the whole thing. It is not a problem for me to hit my coffee goal, but that even more so is not only could be dehydrating, but then on top of that, it's a chance that I could have been drinking water or hot water or tea, and I'm not doing any of that. So it is essential to create a routine for yourself on hydration. And not only does staying hydrated help with everything that you already know it helps with, but it just makes you feel so much better. So not only can it help you actually be more healthy looking, it actually can make you feel so much better. So that's the thing I really wanted to drive with this point, is just how it makes you feel and loosen up and just be sometimes in a better mood. Like yesterday, I really didn't hit my water goal, and by the end of the day, I was like, why do I feel so like crappy? And so I think that even carried into how I slept and everything. So it's so nice to be able to pay this respect. It's something that so easily gets pushed under the rug, like everything else in life becomes more of a priority than this. And yet we are human and we need water so much. And so it is so important, even when it's this colder time of the year, to do something where you can incentivize yourself to drink more water, even if that's by boiling a pot of water to make some herbal tea with, or like hot water with lemon. Like, make it an experience. Put it in your favorite cup, and instead of like holding on to a hot coffee cup, then you can actually be holding on to like hot tea or something like that, to where you can stay warm, stay cozy, and it just becomes part of your wellness routine. I know that pretty much everybody on this channel loves to wear jewelry. And one way that I absolutely feel like I have this huge difference in how I look is if I'm wearing jewelry close to my face, whether that's through an amazing, like, close to my neck necklace, like maybe a choker, for instance, or if it's through earrings. I have some beautiful statement earrings, and I think that I took some bad advice a few years back that I should only keep my earrings smaller, that I shouldn't make them more elaborate. But this is just not necessarily true for all petites. I think that a lot of times it comes down to your prominence of your facial features and your hair thickness and like so many other things. I could go through a whole list of the reasons why people should wear like bigger, chunkier jewelry, depending on their own structure of their face and like different things. But that's another video for another day. Essentially, when you want to look your best in wintertime and you're all bundled up under tons of clothes, it is so easy to wear an amazing pair of earrings, and it just makes your face look more brilliant, your hair look great. You could even slick back your hair and wear amazing earrings. I've seen so many people do that, and it looks so good. But there's endless ways that you could style jewelry close to your face this time of year, or even wear like a brooch close to your face, maybe on a scarf. There's different things that you could do with headbands and so many things. I've seen amazing pieces of jewelry that people put as hair bands right now, and that looks so great as well. So play with this, see what you already have, and find ways that you can feel a little bit more fresh and put together just by adding jewelry close to your face. This next tip is something I think a lot of people don't realize. I think that is not talked about enough, but it is such a powerful way to transform how you're feeling and how much you feel put together, how great that you feel like you are attractive-wise, like how your outfit seems to even come together through this one invisible thing, and that is through perfume. But not only any perfume. This time of year, it's essential to use a stronger perfume. Obviously, I know that some people have struggles with like asthma and stuff. So if I'm talking perfume, maybe for you, it's an essential oil. Like, obviously navigate this for yourself. But what I notice is that people wear strong scents and perfumes during summertime in warm weather when it's already incredibly hard to breathe. It's like muggy, possibly. It's like really hot out. That's like when you smell somebody coming and it's like, wow, they're wearing a lot of perfume and I can't breathe. It doesn't really work. But when the winter temperatures are happening, you can wear a really strong perfume and pass by someone and they're like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. Like, what are you wearing? And this happened to me a few years ago. I am almost out of my Chanel No. 5, but this is like my stronger perfume out of anything else that I own, and it lasts an incredibly long time on my skin, on my clothes. It was just one of those moments where she's like, oh my gosh, what are you wearing? And I know it was because it was an incredibly cold month on an incredibly cold day, and I was just walking out of a store, and the breeze basically just picked up the scent in the air, and she said like, oh my gosh, smells amazing, and what are you wearing, and all that. And of course, Chanel No. 5 is super common, but it was just a great conversation piece. And that wouldn't have happened had it been a really, really hot day in Tennessee. That wouldn't have happened. She would have been like, oh my gosh, I can't breathe, you're wearing a really strong perfume, and all that. So know your season and what time of year to wear these stronger scents versus, like, it would be so much better in summertime to only use very light scented things and not put on too much. But this time of year, it just sort of wafts through the air, and it's just the most lovely and intoxicating scent. And so, yeah, you can use a stronger perfume this time of year to feel amazing. And I think that this one's an excellent one if you're looking for something that just has that essence of feeling put together, and it goes with the cold air smell. Like having this like powdery, beautiful scent is excellent. And this final way that I love to feel more put together and capable and everything this time of year, to feel at my very best, is something that I am very bad at doing. So I'm not claiming that I have been able to do this successfully as much as I want to, but going outside every single day, especially in the morning, to actually experience nature, it changes everything the days I actually do this. So if I can go and walk my park with my man, it is the most amazing day. Like everything else that happens after seems to be incredible. And if you can at least look outside, even if you can't go outside where you are, just look out your window and appreciate the natural light and the beauty of the day. And like this morning, I was like, can we go on a walk? But then it was like, it's like 12 degrees. Like, I don't actually want to walk outside. But the thing is that the chemicals in our brain, in order to feel the most awake, the most alert, is to look outside, and that actually creates so much more happiness in yourself too. The opposite of this that sort of keeps me feeling asleep is to stay in my bed and open up my phone and scroll it for a half hour. That is kind of what I do, and it's a super bad habit. But if I can continue to not look at my phone until after I have looked outside, it will change the way that I can actually go about my day and what I can accomplish and so much more. And this will multiply if I can actually go on a walk outside to where I'm moving my body, because anytime that I go on a walk, it is something where you can come up with your best ideas. The best ideas happen either when you're taking a shower or going on a walk. And I don't know how that's scientific, but it's just a fact. And I'm sure that you guys agree with me that it is amazing when you can spend this time of just chatting with someone or spending time with your own thoughts, appreciating nature, getting some fresh air, getting some fresh sunlight, which is so rare this time of year. And this really can make you feel your absolute best. It can also make you feel like you've had a small accomplishment as well. If you can just get out there, say that you went for a walk and you came home, and now it feels like the rest of the day is just yours. So those are my ways that I try to feel my very best this time of year. Of course, I would love it if you guys join the Winter Club as well. So you can go to leosculpts.com and find out more there. And the link is also in the description. But I also am just so encouraged that this time of year is quite beautiful. There's so much to gain from it. It's a time where there's new beginnings too, with it being January right now. And I'm just so encouraged by how this year is going to go. You guys have already been so amazing in how I was talking to you last week about all of the ways where I am just overcoming ideas of perfectionism and just showing up today here as myself with all my flaws and all of my little tonics and scrubs and just showing up in any way that I can every day and touching base with you guys. So thank you guys so much for the warm reception last week, and I can't wait to share so much more. This is just an incredible, incredible year full of potential for you and for me, and I will see you guys in the next video.